The following stories contain descriptions of mistreatment, physical harm, sexual assault towards both adults and children. Viewer discretion is advised. Story 1. I had a female babysitter who would take me into the bathroom. She would sit me on the toilet with her pants and underwear off, and have me pee into the toilet bowl between her legs. She would ask me to hit her hairy spot every once in a while. I'm a male, and I was 8 years old at the time. I remember thinking it was pretty freaking awesome. Story 2. I had a babysitter who would try to hit me. She was 60 or so she moved rather slowly compared to my 8-year-old self. She rarely ever landed a hit. She would usually hit me for pointing out that she was wrong or talking back to her. One night, she tried to hit me, so I ran upstairs to my parents' room, where we kept our dog, because she was terrified of dogs. I shouted, "I've released the hound!" The dog ran downstairs, and having never met her before, it barked at her. The babysitter ran outside barefoot into the snow, ran down the driveway, through the street, and to the neighbor's house across the street. Called my parents and said she was never babysitting me again. Story 3. When I was 8, my parents hired a babysitter who thought it'd be funny to play dead. My 6-year-old brother and I found him sprawled on the floor and thought he was really dead. We were both in hysteria until he suddenly got up and yelled, "Gotcha!" But the joke was lost to us. We cried until our parents got home 3 hours later. Looking back, I can see the humor in it, but as a child, it was terrifying. Story 4. First babysitter I can remember. I was 5 or 6, and she used to force me to watch adult videos with her and her friend. She would make me touch her, but when you're that young, and you're taught that doing stuff like this is wrong, you get scared. She would also make me wait until she was done playing, if you know what I mean, with her boyfriend in my parents' room. Story 5. When I was a kid, my neighbor asked me to babysit her son while she went grocery shopping. What I didn't expect was for her to make us both wear leashes. She had these Velcro wristbands that she hooked to us, and off we went. I remember feeling embarrassed and self-conscious as we walked through the store. I didn't want anyone to see us, but I also didn't want to upset my neighbor, so I just went along with it. To make matters worse, the rules in her car were just as strict. She insisted that we keep our hands under the seatbelt, which was both uncomfortable and dangerous. I didn't feel safe or secure in her care. Looking back, I realized that my neighbor was probably just trying to keep her child safe and under control, but there are better ways to do that. Story 6. When I was 6, my family got a Nintendo system, and I only played simple games like Super Mario and Duck Hunt. But our babysitter was a responsible and neat college student who got excited when he saw our game collection, especially when he saw Final Fantasy. He asked me if he could play it while he babysat, and I was blown away by seeing an adult so excited about a video game. This was a major turning point in my life, as I became a serious RPG, sci-fi, fantasy, and anime nerd over time. Story 7. When I was in elementary, my parents hired a high school girl to watch over me and my younger sister after school. She was pretty lazy and would often just sleep on the couch while we played. However, things took a turn for the worse when my dad's checks started going missing. He found out that she had been forging them, and then he realized that some of our cash had gone missing too. Although my parents didn't call the police, he did confront her and her parents, and the money was paid back. I never spoke to her again, but recently I looked her up on Facebook. I saw that she had 3 daughters now. I couldn't help but wonder if she ever thinks about how she betrayed our trust. Story 8. I had some babysitters, 2 sisters, who had a particular way of disciplining us. Whenever my siblings and I were bad, they would punish us by putting Tabasco sauce on our lips and tongues, and force us to take naps in locked, dark bedrooms. I was only 5 years old at the time, and my parents never made us take naps at that age. I only ever complained about the nap thing, not the Tabasco culture. Whenever I saw these sisters on the street, I would refer to them as the girls who make us take naps. But now I realize I should have told my parents about the hot pepper sauce punishment. Story 9. When I was 6, my nanny took me to her night job as a janitor at a local school. She left me alone to wander the halls for hours. Eventually, a teacher found me and scolded me for being at the school after hours. I was at a loss for words, since I didn't attend that school, and my nanny was nowhere to be found. Thank you for listening to these wild babysitter stories. We hope you found them entertaining and maybe even a little relatable. Actually, hopefully not. If you want to see more interesting and funny stories, make sure to check out the other videos that appear on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story.